She talks about wanting to break into a wildlife health field without a vet tech license or DVM. When you're approaching going into other careers that you don't know as much about, there's really a couple of things that you want to do. First, you want to learn as much about the job as possible from the actual job postings. I actually wouldn't even recommend outside sources because so many outside sources can be wrong. And that's why I started this group. That's why I wrote my book, Getting a Job in Wildlife Biology. So honestly, I would look at the job postings, and it might be that you do need a DVM or a vet license. You're really going to have to analyze those job postings and look to see what they have. Because if all of these health jobs are requiring a DVM, then that might be something you need to get. But if you're seeing jobs that don't require a DVM, the ways that you can break into it are a couple. You really want to network with individuals who have the kinds of jobs that you want, and especially have the kind of credentials that you want. So if you see that there are jobs that don't require a DVM or a vet tech license, and you want those kinds of jobs, network with those types of people and get their input on the route that they took and see what they think about your next steps. So that's one way. There's also my course, Networking for Introverts, which teaches you step-by-step how to reach out to people cold that you have no idea, you don't know them, and it can lead to opportunities and even jobs. My students have gotten jobs seriously and just networking. And it's actually 50% off now, this masterclass. Make sure you join my email list and you'll get the code. And then the other thing you really want to look at is your job application. And we can also work on this together, because if you do have the experience and meet the qualifications, then it's really about framing your past experiences to fit in to what that job wants. So if they don't necessarily require a DVM or a vet tech position, then it's about framing it into the requirements that they do want and using your experiences as best as you can to match those. And it might be that getting a vet tech position might make you more competitive. If this is something you really want to do, you might want to look into getting some even volunteer experience. I know it can be really frustrating to hear that, to have to volunteer, especially when you've put so much work into this career. But like me, this is exactly what happened on my journey. Is I have my PhD, I have postdoc work, and even myself, there's some jobs where it's like, oh, I could go back or I should have gotten like a course on this, or I should have gotten experience on this. So this is exactly why I do what I do. So for those of you who are going into this career, or even if you've graduated, you might have to take a couple of steps back. But in the course of your life, like we live such a long life. And in the course of your life, if you're taking a couple of steps back, and this is like figuratively, this is not, you're not really going backwards. You're taking something to take you closer to where you want to go. It's just that you didn't know about it at the time. So you are going forward in your career. And we live such a long life. What is a couple of years in when you're doing your career for what? People retire now for so 65, probably 70. So, 50 years. And I don't know, I've been working a long time because I love this field. This is my advice for you for going into wildlife health is study the jobs. For those of you who don't have the job tracker, get the job tracker, really understand what they want. Connect with professionals who are in the jobs that you want, talk to them, build relationships, and get advice on how to get those jobs through genuine connections. Make sure your job applications match the job. And then the very last, if you need that extra boost, if you need to get that extra qualification and extra volunteering, then do it. It's worth it if it leads you to something that you really love.